Hello, Kalada. Hello, Kalada, are you able to hear me? Hello.
Sanjeev. Sanjeev. Hello.
Yeah, Kalada, I'm able to hear you. You are able to hear me?
Yes, I can able to hear you, Sanjeev. Welcome, Sanjeev.
Yeah.
So, can you
start?
Yes, you can start the presentation.
Yeah, I'm sharing my screen.
Yes.
Let me know once you're able to see.
Yes, I can able to see that. So we can just I'll just give the introduction and then we can start with the session.
Yeah.
I'm audible, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I would like to say thanks for taking your time and joining this session. So today we are going to articulate our Ortem solutions from the cable industry perspective. So with me, Mr. Sanjeev is there to take us through the complete technological aspects of Ortems in the cable industry. So Sanjeev, can you just go to the next slide? I'll just introduce company. So actually, just I want to introduce about our company. We are from EDS Technologies. Myself is Kaladar. I take care of technical support. So as a company, started in 1994 with PLM solutions and implementation as well as the support as a primary objective. And we are the platinum partner to Dassault system, and continuously we are winning this award from Dassault. Largest PLM and engineering solution provider in India. I mean, having a big customer database of about 1,500 customers from the different domains. And we have almost 11 offices across India, and we are also having presence in all metro cities and the Tier 2 cities. We also have the strategic alliances with different world leaders like Human Solutions and Transcat, where it may be complementing our CAD solutions or PLM solutions in the R&D segment. Apart from the alliances, we also have dedicated sales and support, marketing, as well as the customer satisfaction audit team to address customers' PLM business needs as well as the support requirements with state-of-art implementation capabilities. Apart from that, we also have our e-learning own portal. I mean, EDST has got e-learning portal where we are capturing the complete CAD/CAM solutions and trying to virtualize take the subject matter to the students by students or industry professionals sitting from home and completing their courses and getting the certifications. So we are also covering both software front as well as the domain front solutions from our e-learning portal. And as a company, apart from the solution selling, we also have the complete system integration skills with respect to the different brands. So with this, I would like to ask Mr. Sanjeev to start the session. Mr. Sanjeev represents from Dassault Systems, and he have almost 10 plus years experience. He handles the complete DELMIA brand as a technical manager, and today he is going to articulate the Ortem solutions to us. So Sanjeev, over to you.
Thank you, Taladar. Good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Sanjeev. I work for Dassault Systems as Technical Manager, DELMIA or Manufacturing Solution. Just a brief introduction about Dassault Systems. So Dassault Systems is a scientific company. We started as a 3D design software. You would have heard of CATIA, and then after that, we have grown into multiple segments and multiple industries. So we are about 15,000 plus passionate people spread across the geo with around almost like 210,000 enterprise customers in all the 12 industries. We strongly work with partners, and as Kaladar told, EDS is one of our platinum partners for India. And Dassault Systems is a long-term driven company, so we have been there in this segment from almost 50 years plus. So as an established player in PLM and other departments. So here is a list of all our customers in different industries, and then it may be transportation, mobility, industrial equipment, many others. You name the industry, we are there, and then all the big names in each of the industry are having one or the other Dassault System solution running across. So coming to manufacturing, typically the way how we are. So we are having digital manufacturing, that is our portfolio on virtual validations, process planning and other things. Next is on the manufacturing of operations. Then we have the entire supply chain suite. And finally, the production scheduling and manufacturing planning. So this is where we will be concentrating more today as the solution. So as an IoT4 enabler, 3D Experience platform is our one single source of truth, and where we cover all of these portfolio, that is the supply chain, industrial engineering, and manufacturing operations management, together covering the entire global field operations. So it all spreads across right from the initiation of a concept or just after the design is released till the manufacturing or even beyond manufacturing on the supply chain, and then how we want to control the entire organization. So that is the spread of Dassault Systems solution. Just an overview, getting into the cable market. So today's agenda is all about the cable manufacturing. So I will introduce the solution, and then I will also talk about some of our references, and then get an overview of the technical points or the tool knowledge as well. So cable market, from our understanding, we have been working with multiple customers. So the pains, what we understand is that the market pressure, the competitions for the shorter due dates, and then the heavy equipments that are used in the cable manufacturing. So these are some of the key pain areas. And Ortems is our planning and scheduling solution, typically tailor-made for the cable industry. So we have a market penetration proven solution across 60 sites. Sorry, hello? Okay, yeah, sorry, I think there was some issue in between. So across 60 sites and a worldwide APS, that is Advanced Planning and Scheduling Leader. So some of the key gains, the customer service improvements, and then lead time reduction with a delivery date accuracy are some of the key things that what we have seen as differentiator as across other vendors who may be giving the same software. So people may ask, okay, why Ortems? What is Ortems and other things? So Ortems, we need about an industry challenge, that is planning and scheduling is becoming more and more critical, because that becomes the heart of any manufacturing or any production shop. How do I even go ahead and then plan out my activities or schedule out my demand, meeting the customer demand and then satisfying the shorter due dates. Everybody wants it early. The tenders may come late or the orders may come late, but with a bulk manufacturing that needs to be done. So how do I really be reactive to this? Agile and then flexible are one of the key challenges. So a few things pointed over here. I'm not going to go into the depth because the solution itself in the later stage will speak about this. So what we have really learned from this particular industry is that the right product in the shortest due date, and then how do I club all the things and then meet the accurate due dates. Okay, how do I have the competitive advantage? Okay, and then the markets are changing, the regulations may be changing, the certifications may be changing. How do I really make a mark in the market so that I make a feel of the presence so that I'm the first who is going to do? And the right length, I mean, how do I manage the length? Length management is one of the key thing in cable industry. How do I really do that? And then how do I be more accurate and reliable to my customers whenever I want to commit for a due date? So these are some of the challenges. And furthermore, the equipments. I mean, I myself have been in one of the prestigious companies in India who was known for cable manufacturing. So I've seen the entire process, and then I've been with them where Ortems is being implemented there. So the heavy equipments which are being put in place. So how do I conserve or utilize that particular equipment so that I have the right ROI on this? So these are some of the key challenges. And to cut the production costs, what are the requirements that we typically get? So maybe some of you who are here may have these requirements that to take the most of the existing production resources, how do I optimize it? I mean, how do I reduce the stock levels? I mean, we have seen the roles being kept idle and I mean, here and there spilled over, or the wrong utilization, or the settings going wrong. How do I really make sure that, okay, all these things are better? And having the right anticipation. I mean, cable making, we all know it is still labor intensive because of the heavy machineries that needs to be run. Although automated, but still we need a lot of labor to be put in place. So if there is labor consumption gap, then how do I really manage that particular thing? Transportation costs, I mean, how do I really keep it intact with respect to my dispatch plans? And finally, how to be competitive on the market. So these are some of the things the business would have really posed a challenge, and then let's see how Ortems will really help in addressing that. Proven results, I mean, the customer inputs may give you this. So we have seen increased productivity after people have started using Ortems. The customer services has gone up. The bottlenecks in your resources would have been, or the process would have been reduced. The inventory reduction, and then lead time with multiple factors of how do I manage my length or color or other things are put in place. The labor cost, because I know either the operator by skill or the operator by count, I'm managing it. And an accurate planning decision so that I don't really stop my production just because there is no material availability, or there is some variability, or there is some resource breakdown. I always have the right information at the right time. And the best practices, I mean, typically in all the industries we have seen, in particular in India, that it is all about person driven. So how do I really come ahead from the person driven to a process driven, and then standardize the best practices? So that is what are the proven results. Any APS always works with an ERP system, because the demand or the marketing information always comes from an ERP system. I mean, it may be even your material master, which may be maintained in your ERP system, or the MRP is done in the ERP system. So we have integration expertise, especially with SAP, Oracle, Infor. It may be any kind of tool, okay, which you may be using as ERP, whether it is in the mid-market or the higher segment. So we connect, or we have adapters which can connect to any of the ERP system, especially if it is SAP. So then we are certified partners with SAP, where even on S4HANA tomorrow, if the organization takes a step to move to S4HANA, we are ready already to get integrated with SAP. With this said, I would like to jump into the technical know-how. Any questions so far? Hello.
Sanjeev,
Yeah.
nothing as of now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let us see, we understood what are the challenges that what the cable industry is looking at, and then how our solution can really help. But if somebody asks technically, Sanjeev, fine, these are all okay, this is what we are seeing. But technically, can you please explain what is that Ortems solution? So Ortems is an APS tool, as I told, and the solution provides accurate capacity planning. This is at the midterm level, and it also provides a dynamic short-term scheduling and rescheduling. So this is at the day in, day out level. So ideally, what we are really speaking about is two optimizing engines. One is the load leveling, and then one is the scheduling engine. So typically what we have seen, you people might have projection for 2 months, 3 months based on the demand. How do I really materialize and then tell that, okay, available to promise, yes, I am okay to go ahead and then meet these requirements. On the other hand, once I promise, day in day out, shift by shift, how do I really plan out the sequence of activities? So Ortems is a solution which will help customers in performing both planning and scheduling at midterm and short term. And Ortems is not a black box, it is a decision support system. So if you ask me, Sanjeev, if I just give something, will an output come? Not really. It will be still driven by a planner, okay, but the intelligence will be given by the tool, and then planner will take the decision. So it is an agile system which will help to take decisions quickly. So this is a quick introduction of what Ortems is and how does it do it. So Ortems uses a constraint based modeling. So when you ask me constraint, we model the constraints. I mean, it is out of the box available. Almost 108 types of constraints are available. The constraints may be due dates, priorities, available of the inventory, or whether to use the first available machine or the latest available machine, or should I balance the machine overload. So like this, there are 108 sets of constraints already built in. So we just go ahead and then ask the problem, map the constraints, and then put in the data to get the right results. So many other vendors may tell that, okay, sir, we will help you, but they may all start writing code after providing the software. It may be an open toolkit. They'll tell, okay, oh, sir, this is your due date. I'll put a for loop. And then after that, there is one more constraint. After that, one more constraint. But that is not really optimization. That is just automating your processes. But Ortems as a tool comes in with an inbuilt optimizer, which will take these constraints and then do the optimization. So it is a finite capacity planning tool. So it works on finite level or infinite level. Ideally, what we all work is finite level. And as I told, there are two optimization engines. This finite planning might happen at a midterm, which is a load leveling. That is the capacity utilization, what we call, and doing some inventory calculation. And the scheduling, which is typically day in, day out sequencing, or the schedule that needs to be put across for each mission. So what do you get out of it? It can highlight bottleneck issues, whether you are going short of inventory, whether you are having capacity glitches, whether you want to work 2 shifts, or if you want to ramp up for third shift. So how do you do that? Material flow synchronization. So I know there are different stages how the cable is being made. Okay, I mean there will be drawing. After drawing, there are other stages. You will do sheeting, inner sheeting, outer sheeting, and then there may be multiple other things that needs to be put across for cutting the cables. So how do I manage all these sections and then tell that whether it is an MDO order or an MTS order, how do I really bind the things? Okay, so these are some of the production flow synchronization that can be done. So you can create multiple what if scenarios, unlimited number of simulations, and it's a collaborative tool. So it is not that, okay, one person, I mean, it may be a production supervisor and a PPC guy. So the PPC guy may be the main guy, authoring guy who may do the planning and then publish the plan to the production supervisor. The production supervisor in turn may tell that, okay, I'm just slightly modifying, maybe some machine is not working or setup time is changed or it is getting delayed. So I don't want really the PPC guy to come and then do a round robin there. He can go ahead and then do some changes in the plan and then still adhere. So it will be reflected back to the planner. So that is the way how collaborative tool works. So having said that, this is how Ortems would look like. I mean, it is a UI based tool. So it's a graphical planning tool. There will be multiple Gantt charts which are interactive. I mean, it is even touch enabled. You can work with any of your Windows, touch phones, and other things. Easy to understand, and then contextual displays are available. High-end functionalities. So as I told, we are constraint-based modeling, and then multiple levels of uh, capabilities can be put across. So here you can see some material shortages or the capacity shortages that are being shown over here. Intuitive, touchscreen enabled, as I told, multiple constraints, whether it is machines, labors, inventories, supplies, material flow, space, setup time, tools. So there may be changeovers of the tools, setup time constraints that needs to be managed, because these are all non-value added activities. Your suppliers may tell, okay, my lead times are different, so how do I really manage the lead times of the product? And then do a material synchronization. So n number of constraints, it's not only one resource, but other things also taken into consideration. So you can literally simulate. I mean, you can have multiple things. I mean, if you have 2 or 3 drawing machines, whether if one is not available, can I move to other and then still see whether I'll be in a position to run the same thing. Okay. And I can work collaboratively. So it is single source of information from the ERP. All the information comes in. Optimization is done, and then it can be sent back to the ERP thing. Multiple users can start working, and then they can give their feedback. So some of the capacity or the load constraints things. Inventory optimization. So here you can have the material availability check. We are not really an MRP guy because ERP will already be doing the MRP, but still we can do at a finite capacity level what is the minimum inventory that needs to be kept, and then if there is any drop in the stock level, what is the minimum stock I need to maintain, how will I put across the lead time or give out some purchase recommendation. So these are some of the things that what we can optimize with respect to the inventory. You can prioritize, you can have multiple types of priorities, and then you can prioritize the activities, and then on the machine it will give you the sequence of loading pattern that needs to be published. Multiple setup times. Even in setup times, it may be because of materials, it may be because of tools, it may be because of colors, especially in cable industry, it may be because of colors, the width, the thickness, or the diameter, so or the number of strands that you put after drawing the wires. So it may be anything that I will have to model as a matrix. You can put it as a matrix, and then the system will take into consideration that particular matrix while doing the scheduling. So synchronization. So if you see, this is the final good, but before coming to that final order, how many activities are put across? So we get the virtual traceability link. So you can have a clear understanding at what day, what will be the stage of my order, or what will be the stage of the production process. So I can have multiple simulations. As I told, I can compare that particular simulation. So this is like continuous improvement. It is not only about having one day I do and then after that I don't know what to do. So you can compare your production plan with respect to the actual production that has been done. So you can generate some reports, and then you can see whether the adherence is correct. I need to change something, so you can just quickly change. The planner can change. It is not about, as I told, somebody will have to now come and then additionally code something for a additional constraints or writing some VB code. It is not about that. It is just adding an additional constraint, and it's a KPI based monitoring. So the business may set some KPIs. I need to maintain the service ratio at 95% or 99%. The setup time overall for a month or overall for a period should be less than 1 day. I don't want many setup times. So based on the plan you generate, it will automatically dynamically give you a KPI telling that whether you are in sync or not. So it is agnostic of people. Anybody, even a junior resource, he may cross verify with respect to these KPIs and then give the right plan. Okay. So with this said, I'm going to just run a video, okay, which will give you a tool understanding. So I'm here running a use case, okay, of one of the company what we have done in the cable industry, which is going to be on a short-term to mid-term scheduling. So how do we handle this? And then this also introduces the tool. Please let me know if there is any lag so that I can stop and then I can rerun. This is how the tool would look like, okay? And this is the Ortems screen where there are multiple Gantt charts, and then you can see the machine Gantt chart over here. In the machine Gantt chart, you have typically 3 aluminum drawing wire machines and then copper drawing wire machines. So these are sections, or this may be group or drawing machine group, and then there are 3 machines over here. Here there are 5 or 6 machines. Then comes the stranding. So there is stranding over here. Then the insulation, then the armoring, then the sheathing, and then finally the cable may come out. On the other hand, you are also seeing the orders that has been loaded on this, and then these color code may indicate the orders from different customers or orders of different products or orders of different diameters. So that can be configured, as I told, that can be parameterized. And you can also see some of the small gaps over here. Those are nothing but the setup time or the changeover times. So the scheduling is ready, or it is ready for getting scheduled, and this information, that is the operations or the work order information, has been read through the ERP system. So it is taken through the ERP system and then it is ready for doing the schedule. Okay, so let's see what he will do. So I am just viewing the machine Gantt chart, okay, and I'm seeing that, okay, what is the business context? So here the product what we are considering is an electric cable, and then the process is wire drawing, and then after that I do the wire stranding, and then after that I do the isolation, and then the cable stranding, and then finally armoring. So that is the process over here. And the planning objective is to come out with the right sequence of order. Okay, so this is the typical process flow. So this is the case, and let's see how it starts working. Okay, and then we saw the machine Gantt chart, and then after seeing the machine Gantt chart, so here is where the context is coming, and then I'm just assuming as a planner now. So it is like a day in a planner in a cable industry. The PPC team guy is sitting, okay, what and all are the things that he's going to do. So here we start with the work orders. Any new work orders are there? How is the planning progressing? That is the feedback from your shop floor. And then doing some automatic scheduling, and then you can create campaigns. Campaigns are nothing but different set of rules put in, and then you can come out with different sequences. And then if there is a new trial on a machine, okay, how do I incorporate it? And then how do I meet some planning quality issues? And then it is auto promising, and the loop goes on continuing. So this is a kind of a day in a life of a planner what we have taken. Okay. Once I have this, I start with my day. So I know that, okay, this is the screen with the machine Gantt chart that has been put over here. So as I was telling, the context information is there over here, where you can just hover on it. It will go and then give you all the information about that particular order. So this is the order ID. This is the item designation. This is the tool that is being used for this. When is the operation start date? When is the operation due date? And then when the customer is actually asking for this particular order. Okay, so it is just highlighting everything. So the end due date of this order is 8. That is, the order delivery has to happen on 8, or the dispatching has to happen on 8th of February. But I have started the process for this of the drawing process, that the first process on January 7th, or the January 7th I'll finish it, and then after that I'll be having other operations that needs to be done. Okay, so you can quickly on the tooltip see what are the different things. So once I have this information, let's go and then check the status. So on the same machine Gantt chart, I want to see how is my planning running. Are there any delays? Are there any production gaps? So I can just map the same work orders with a color coding, telling that, can you please tell whether am I good to go or am I having any problem? So here he's telling that something is orange and then something is red. It might be that, okay, red means this operation which was supposed to be done is not started. Maybe there is a breakdown or no material or whatever it is, they have not started. And then some might be on delay. This orange may be on delay. So from the shop floor, the entry may come either via an MES or it may come even manually, some production supervisor putting in the status on the work order. So we can pull it from the ERP system and other things where they would have punched the order progress or they would have punched the order confirmation. So based on that, the tool will refresh every day. And then here you can see that, okay, Sanjeev, there is some red order which is not done. Okay, so what is that? I mean, this is the quantity, and then this was the item which is not being done. So I get a clear clarity of what is happening, what is not happening. Typically, this is done in an open meeting or in a stand-up meeting or a 30 minutes meeting, okay, where the production guys inform that, okay, this is what has happened, this has not happened. Then the planner will start thinking, okay, what should I do, what should I not do? But here I can see that, okay, clearly what is happening right at the beginning of the day, even before I move in. Okay. So here is seeing with respect to the due date, where am I going wrong, which are the objects which are not delivered. Okay, so this is the first starting point, that what is that I will have to do. Okay, and there are some markers over here. Okay, so you can see that it is not planned, it is ahead of week 3, means these are the new orders what I got. I mean, some orders are delayed, but I also have some new orders that has been put in place for me to do the planning. Now I know that, okay, there are something which are delayed, and then I have something that new that needs to be taken into consideration. So let me start doing the optimization. So as I told, optimization depends upon multiple constraints that can be modeled, and then we can have that constraints selected, and then we can start doing the optimization. Optimization may be manual optimization, or it may be even the optimization done by the tool. And also he is just verifying that if I do a schedule, what will be the induced changeovers, and then these are the metrics as I was telling. So the tool will tell just because addition of that particular thing has induced some changeovers, so there may be some potential drop in the KPIs. Okay, so these work orders are causing some changeovers on the machine. Okay, so here you can see that these orders are placed. The marker is showing that these are new work orders, so these are placed on this particular machines, and then he's telling that, okay, how the machine Gantt chart gets updated when the optimizer is being put in place, or when I start doing the optimization, that the moment the work orders came in, it got automatically put in place, and then I want to further optimize this. So this is where I was telling the criteria management, whether you want to do forward scheduling or you want to do backward scheduling. If the planner is not really happy with the tool allocated thing, and then he wants to re-optimize, or he wants to change any constraints and then re-optimize this particular thing, so here is where the constraints that are available. Means here on the left hand side for doing a forward scheduling, so there are typically criteria available. I can join a few criteria, I can give the weightage for those particular criteria, and then I can run the optimizer. Ideally, this is done as coding and other things from other platform, but here it is just selection of the criteria and then running, and then you can store those criteria. I want less setups. Just because of the induction of one order, I saw there was setup times, so I want to set up. So you can see that the service rate reduced because of the new orders that are coming in. Okay, that is inevitable, can't do anything. But however, I'll be able to reduce the setup time as well. Have I reduced the setup time? Okay, so that is one of the key things that I am going to see. And why is that service rate, that is the adherence, reduced? And then what are the number of orders which will not be able to execute? So that also quickly I'll be able to get, and then I'll be able to see that, okay, what are the things that are happening. So he's running this, and then he sees that if I want to still take into consideration the service rate, the setup time is going to change. So it is a kind of a trade-off that he can see, and then he can come out with the best plan. So the tool, as I told, is an agile decision making tool which will enable to do these kind of what ifs. And then there may be an order now coming in for doing a kind of a trial. So I mean, it so happens that okay, some people may tell, I want to first see how the cable would look like. After that, I will give you the orders. Okay. So now in those kind of cases, how will I go ahead and then see? So now what I'm doing is that some machine has been blocked for this. So I'm telling that this copper wire drawing I want to put in place for doing the trials. Okay, so this will not be available for the actual production. The same case holds good. Say for example, if there is a machine breakdown, I mean it was working 3 into 8 shift, but now I'm telling 0 out of the 24 hours, means I'm not available. So at any point in time, the tool can handle multiple such situations. Sorry. So he has induced some kind of a downtime, or he has blocked that particular machine. The moment he blocked the machine, it was telling that these are the affected operations or the affected orders on that particular machine. Because I am highlighting, it is telling that this machine on the copper wire 32, that is copper drawing Degro 32. So Degro 32, these are the machines which will be impacted because of this changes. So I can go and then I can start moving that, or I can start manually seeing whether I'll be able to put across, or I may also do an optimization run as I was doing and then check that okay how it can go ahead. On the other hand, we also told it is not only about machines, it is also about the inventory, okay, or it is also about managing the inventory and the stock. So Sanjeev, this plan is very good, but am I really having the inventory? Or the delay, is it because of inventory or is it because of the machine? Okay, it may be because of the machine, or it may be because that I don't have the inventory. So Ortems will not really stop you from not planning. I mean, inventory, somehow you can get the supplies and other things, until unless you explicitly move that I don't have an option at all. So we don't stop planning for that particular thing. And ideally, that is what will happen. Do people somehow manage it to get it at the last moment, or maybe on that particular day with an additional supply and other things. Or inevitably, you can see that there is negative quantity of a raw material. Okay, so this may be some PVC material which is not available for me, and then I can identify because of this shortage which are the orders that will be impacted. I'm going to plan, but what are the orders that will be impacted? So you can check that okay, what are the orders on that, and then it will automatically highlight if there is this particular material gap, then some of my operations over here will be impacted. And then now can I move that operations and then still manage my production? So this is one of the key things that what you people would be looking that. So I don't want to stop my production just because there is no material. Okay, I will have to move it to some other day. Okay, I can fix a separate start date. The moment you fix the start date, it is not only this particular operation but the subsequent operations as well. That is, before the armoring, there was drawing, there was stranding, all those operations. And also after the armoring, there may be like finishing or the coating, which may happen. So even that will be moved. Okay. So you can allocate some markers. You can tell that, okay, this is because of the material issue and other things, which needs to be highlighted or which needs to be taken care of. Okay. So Ortems will help you in managing the materials. Okay, so that negative impact has been gone. Even without the material being there, I'll be able to do it. And if somebody tells that okay, there is a sequence of machine and then I have a problem in managing it, how do I really have it differently sequenced? I mean, you can create the sequence in a different manner. Okay, so here he is just mapping it in a different way, where he is plotting the colors that which are the most impacted material operations and which are okay for me to go ahead. So I can have different things and then I can have different series of data that can be put in place. Okay. Or he can induce an order. Say for example, somebody calls and then tell I want an order. Is it possible for me to put in place? Yes, not an issue. I can create a work order also, and then I can put in place what is the impact of that particular thing. So you can see there is an Ortems new that I want to do, and then I can highlight the critical path or the work order path. So it is telling that after copper drawing, installation, armoring, these are the three things. So automatically Ortems not only created an order or drawing, but it also subsequently went ahead for the entire product to tell that still the FG level, what are the orders that are required. And the planning validation, so here is where the results or the reporting can be done. Although Ortems is open for connecting to any of the AI tool or even for the analytics tool to get the data and then compare it with other things. You can generate any kind of reports just from an SQL query with your formats and then complete the entire planning cycle. So here the whole advantage is that for a planner, it is about synchronizing the entire shop floor, having a view of the inventory, having the view of the materials, and then getting the right information. We complement any kind of MRP, whether it is stock cover, dynamic stock cover, how do you want to manage it? And then we give a view that, okay, how planning can be agile, or how planning can be done quickly or easily. So any questions at this particular point in time? Hello, Kaladar?
Yeah, Sanjeev, there is a question in chat box.
Okay.
Is this software yours or you will buy it from supplier?
Sorry, Kaladar, I'm not able to see. I mean, can you repeat the question?
Just a minute.
Yeah, or you can just copy paste so that.
Yeah, I think now it's been addressed through chat, so we can go ahead.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So any other questions? So I mean, I think Kaladar, we can keep the forum open before I go to the references.
Yeah, one more question, Sanjeev.
Yeah. Because I'm not able to see in the chat box. I mean, that's
yeah, I can read out for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is a query. Can system will alert if any delays in material issues or breakdown issues to the respective team members?
Yes, I mean we can configure mail alerts. So as I was showing, whenever there is an inventory drop, when you plan for that, and then if I see that within this week or within 2 weeks, maybe next Monday or Tuesday, whatever you are planning, there will be shortage of inventory. So that list can be coming out, and then we can inform it to your purchase team, or we can trigger a mail to your purchase team. Similarly, if there are any resource breakdown and other things, so as I told, it is a collaborative tool. So we have collaborative planner, the main planner in the collaborative planner. So the collaborative planner can put a marker that this machine is under breakdown for, let's say, 5 hours or 6 hours. So that information will come to the PPC guy, and then he may take the necessary actions.
Yes, Sanjeev, thanks for the reply. As of now, these are the queries.
Okay. And then Kaladar, we will wait for a couple of more minutes to see if there are any other questions.
Yes.
I think the audience can also unmute and then ask.
Yes, audience have option to unmute and talk. Yeah, Mr. Lalit Sharma, I think, sir, if you want, you can unmute and talk, sir. Yeah, so one query, Sanjeev.
Yeah, Kaladar.
Can Ortems recognize orders or deliveries with the penalty clause?
Not directly, sir. I mean, because as I told, we cannot really control the ERP system. I mean, because orders are tagged in the ERP. However, how we typically do this is that in the ERP, whenever you punch an order, a sales order or a work order, if you give a attribute or if you give a separate number or kind of an identifier that these are MTOs or these are orders subjected to penalty clause or PEP clause or other things, then that can be tagged as the highest priority whenever we read from any ERP system or whenever you create a new work order, and that will be given the right priority to ensure that within the due date you will be able to plan out for it, or even before the due date you will be able to plan out.
Yeah, thanks, Sanjeev. One more question is there in the chat box. Any sub constraints option is also available. I hope no 108 constraints which you spoke about. Any sub constraints option?
Kaladhar, I'm not very much sure what is sub constraints. Maybe Saraman, if you can unmute. Yeah.
Under each constraint, any sub constraints settings is possible, if I am understanding correctly. This question is from Mr. Manoj Agarwal. Probably he can unmute and speak about this question. Yeah, you can unmute, sir. Mr. Manoj, you can unmute yourself.
Or Kaladhar, you can unmute for on behalf
just a minute. I'll do that. It's showing as a self unmuted, but I'll do unmute for everyone so that yeah, Mr. Manoj, you can unmute now. Yes, sir, you are unmuted now. You can talk. I think some audio issues, Sanjeev. He's unmuted, but
okay. So, Saraman, there is nothing like sub constraints, sir. I mean, if the question, what I understand, any, I mean, 108 constraints, we can toggle. I mean, as I was showing, we can move it into the right side. We can assign different priorities. We can sequence it, and the optimizer will take into consideration whatever constraints you have given in. Okay. So based on the weightage, I mean, if the weightage is high, that itself will tell it is a sub constraint. So if the meaning is something else, then I think you can put it in the chat box. Maybe at the last again we will revisit this particular topic.
Hello, you are able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
We can hear you now.
Yeah.
You can go ahead.
Okay. Actually, myself Abhishek, I am attending this session on behalf of Mr. Manoj.
Okay.
And my question over here is regarding the sub constraints. Like, suppose you are saying like you are having around 101 or 108 sub constraints in your system. Okay. In that, one of the constant is the raw material availability, or some delivery time and other parameters. Suppose in the raw material availability also, there are many materials are there, like around 1,000 materials. So you people, the software allows to map the 100 materials in that category of material, or the system will not allow us.
Sir, ideally system will not allow, but however on the materials, as you told, we will not be able to take all the materials. I mean, it may not make really any sense. What we do is we categorize that particular materials. Say for example, as finished product or intermediate product or semi-finished product or raw material, etc. Okay. So ideally raw material is one of the things that you people will be more interested to see. Okay. And then if it is an intermediate product, I mean, if you tell that, okay, Sanjay, I don't want to track this, I just want a count. Okay. Then we map it as an intermediate product or a semi-finished product. Okay. And the constraints will work for, I mean, if you tell I want to have all the work orders to be done which I can execute for the finished product, means it will first allocate all the raw materials for the finished product, and then for the semi-finished product, and then for the sub-assembly inside the semi-finished product. So the tool is having inbuilt knowledge on going through your BOM and then seeing that, okay, where what information is required. But as such, if you ask me, out of 1,000 I don't want 25, out of 1,000 I don't want 500, we will not be able to restrict the optimizer not to run for 1000 or 20, 25 out of the 1000 and other things.
Okay, fine, sir. And Sanju, in backward planning, for example, there is some X date where my customer is asking the date. So in backward planning, is there any inbuilt program in your this system that my constraints, by considering all these constraints, which date I am going to arrive? One is forward and one is backward, as told by you. So, for example, today is some 10th date is there, but customer is asking to meet the 20th, which is not possible. In those cases, manually we are following the, we are depending on the subcontract works. Like that system can guide us, yeah?
Yes, sir. Yes, definitely. So one of your machines, how we typically put across is that, okay, one of the section may be a subcontract. And then now when you do the backward scheduling, definitely at some point in time or one of the machine, you may see a bottleneck. Okay, whether your drawing machine or a armoring machine or the insulator and other things. Okay. And then, this process can be subcontracted. Okay, so when in the routing, we will be having that particular option of having a subcontract machine also available. Okay, now the tool will see if my armoring machine is completely loaded on that particular day, and then I cannot take that. Then I will go to for an infinite capacity, which is subcontracting. Because for me, subcontractor may be n number of guys. Okay, it is up to the organization to tell which subcontractor. Okay, but the tool has the capability to tell this has to be subcontracted on this particular date for this particular amount.
Okay, fine. Yeah. And in routing, we have to give the capacities, all what we have.
So when we model in such a way that wherever we see that, okay, these are certain kind of customer specific constraints, we put it in the routing.
Yeah, basically, we are doing 10 days plans in a particular month. So, for example, in first 10 days, from 1st August to 10th August, I'm going to plan 15 crores of the value by clubbing all the orders. So, by giving the routing, we can automatically arrive at a program, work centers load and readiness dates.
Yes.
Then fine. Thank you.
Yeah, because that will be as master data, because we know that, okay, this process can be subcontracted. When I say routing, it is not specific to a product. It will be specific to a process. Armoring process, I can subcontract. Okay. Means automatically you are having additional capacity, and then based on the demand, the tool will tell whether the routing has to go to the subcontract or it can be done in-house.
Okay, sir. Okay, fine.
Sir, can I know your name, sir? Can I know your name once again?
Sir, myself, Samadhan, and Abhishek is my colleague. Both were attending on behalf of Mr. Manoj Agarwal. He is our VP operations. We are attending on behalf of him.
Thank you, sir.
Sorry, another meeting.
Any more queries?
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you, and we'll carry on. Later, if anything is, we'll let you know.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, Sanjeev.
Yeah.
I think nothing left in the chat box. We can go ahead now.
Okay, a few references quickly. These are references specific to the cable and wire industries from Ortems. So as I was telling from the beginning that we have been specifically in this particular industry for a long time. Nexans is one of our biggest guys. Prisman Group is the other one. We have multiple other guys, and these cable goes across from multiple industries. Whether it is submarine cables or electrical cables or anything, any type of cables. We are not agnostic of a particular type of a cable. So in India also there will be soon an India introduction, one of the biggest customers in cable manufacturing or the OEMs in cable manufacturing. So we are in the implementation phase right now, so we don't want to mark it up, but this is just as a precursor that we have already been working with the bigger guys. So cable industry, some of the customer testimonies, these are available on YouTube that will be shared by Kaladar, I think, to you guys. And these are some of the things as gains that what people have seen from the names that what I was showing earlier, especially on the stock reduction or input in the increase of the number of working hours or lead time reduction So these are some of the things across different geos, and then our guys are spread across multiple locations. So it is not one country, it has multiple locations where we have the presence. Nexans, so this was the case study of Nexans. So they had to meet the customer requirements. So this was one of the key things that they had given us as a challenge. So we had position detailed scheduling. So as I told, we are modular. We can either position capacity planning or the detailed scheduling, anything. So deployed across 21 sites and out of the 37 sites, and then still the deployment is going on. So lead time reduced from 14 weeks to 5 weeks, and then 23% stock reduction, and better visibility on the planning and the reliability. So these are some of the key things what they have put up. I mean, it is not our numbers, it has been given by Nexans. The testimony is available. And how did we really do this? So if you see, it is multiple sites, not only one particular plant. We have a core model. As I told, sir was asking on subcontracting and other things. So we build a core model, and then if this is taking less than 15 days, and then the optimization is less than 20 days, and then we keep on continuously improvising. So the next site or the next plant will be hardly 10 days, because we have the core model and optimizer setup. So it will only be changes in the optimizer or local plant specific changes that needs to be put across. So this is how the things goes on, and this is our implementation methodology as well. So we have a proven implementation methodology because of our well-known working with cable industry. Intersect cable. So this is one of the biggest cable power cable manufacturers in Russia. So again, there it was scheduling. So how do I really bring down the horizon, and then the throughput improvement. So another case study is from the CPG, where it was for wires. I mean, typically kind of wires, but still considered as cable. Okay, so where we have the challenges on how do I schedule 150 work orders per week. So this was the kind of order that they were getting on 23 extrusion machines. So this was the challenge that was thrown for us. And then how do we put across 8,500 finished products. So I know cable industry, there may be n number of products, because it is not really a standard product. Yeah, there will be standard products, but still a lot of MTOs are one of the key things in this industry. So what are the benefits? Is there stock reduction, productivity gain, scrap decrease, multiple things that was put in place. Again, we have the testimony available, which can be shared. So again, any questions on our solution front or on our portfolio? I am open.
The audience can mute and raise the questions, or you can also put it in the chat box. Yeah, one query: whether Ortems can be implemented in only cable companies or can be used in other production systems.
Sir, anything, sir. I mean, we have life science, we have industrial engineering, we have discrete manufacturing, we have process industry, pharma, chemicals, food and beverage. So Ortems can be put across in any kind of industry. So we have reference case studies. I think this webinar was specific to cable, so I have taken cable specific thing, but this can be in any of the things.
Yes, audience can unmute and raise the questions if any. So we are on time, Sanjeev. We'll wait for another 1 minute. Deepak, you want to add anything? Okay. Fine, Sanjeev. No more queries.
Okay, thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for your time and attention towards the session. So, if any queries, you can always we have put our mail references in the chat box. So you can go through that and let us know any queries even offline. So we will take it those questions in offline and address it. Thank you.